Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in an old favourite, and that is the E75. Now this is a tank that generally I've always enjoyed. It was like my third ever tier 9, fourth ever tier 9, something like that. I'm trying to think now. The M103 was my first tier 9. Then it was this. I think this was my second tier 9, and then after that it was the M46 pattern. This tank is amazing. I love it, and it got some love some patches ago, which made it even better. For some reason, they decided to buff it, and they gave it better engine power and top speed, which means it now just goes ridiculously quickly. And it means you can take up some really aggressive positions. So we're on Lakeville in this first game, and we're in a platoon with Sins and Jack the Ripper, and this is a game from quite a while ago, actually. This was on one of Sins' streams, and this was way before 5.0. And it's just been sitting in the inventory for a little while I've waited to get a second replay. Because I do play the E75, but it's just not all the time. Because I 3-marked it a very long time ago, and I've got so many tanks to choose to play from that, I don't know, we haven't touched tier 9. Whenever I've played in platoons and stuff like that, we've not really touched tier 9 all that much recently. And when it has been, there's been new tanks like the Fangula, you know, and then other tanks that I also enjoyed that I've had sort of goals with, like the U-16. So it's not one that I do play as much anymore, but it is still a very fun one. So what's happening in this game? Well, we went to the Banana Road? That's Himmelsdorf. We went to the Lake Road to support Jack's little push up the middle road to Spot. We got like one shot off, and then me and Sins realised at that time that the valley was just a goner. There was no hope for the valley, so we've got to get over and help. So we're now here trying to help and get shots and try and just stop the charge of the horde of enemy tanks, because they are pushing through. Oh, that poor T-32 as well. He got tonked by Sins and set on fire. He put it out, and then I set him on fire. Oh dear, that poor guy. So we are trying our best to stop this charge, but there is a lot of enemy tanks, and there is just me and Sins. So we're holding this position for as long as we can. We got kind of lucky there that we were trying to push that shot, but yeah, we're holding this for as long as we can. So what we end up doing is we're falling back behind this ridgeline. So now I'm hull down. I can safely sit here and hopefully not take shots, although that T-32 did pen me. Sins is also in a relatively strong position, but the position I've fallen back into is probably even stronger. We get penned again by that T-32. He can't fail to pen, apparently. I don't even think he's firing Prem either, so that's a weird one. Then this T-92 is coming round, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to track this T-32, T-95, and stop him from pushing further. Now we've pushed back into an even stronger position. Now this one we are definitely hull down, and we can use this ridge line to our effect. Now if I had a better engine, I would probably go further up the hill, but my engine is dead, so I can't quite pull up that hill. And I'm trying to get rid of this T-95 as much as possible before he shuts down Sins, but it's like hoping for the best. Thing is, we are stuck in this position with all these guys in front of us, and there's just me and Sins holding the door right now. I finally shut down the T-95, but unfortunately Sins gets shut down by the Conqueror. And like I say, we are holding. The best we can do is hold, because Jack's just sorted out the opposition flank, or near their base. There's only one tank left there, and he is now charging his way over to come and help. Now, I do have a TD and a heavy behind me, so that's stopping the tanks like the T-34-2 from YOLOing past, which they'll still try anyway. I think he just did track damage only, but unfortunately he's just not getting shut down. And I've got these guys in front of me. He's not penning me again, the T-34-2. And we're still looking for more shots, so we shut down the KV-5. There we go, get the tank names right. Shut down the KV-5. And the T-32 that can't fail to pen us with standard rounds pens us again, which is annoying because we're quite a strong tank like that. But he just lolled the rounds through. But I mean, that position that me and Sins held for quite a while, and the two guys that came and helped after Sins have died, basically won us the game. Because it held these guys up, we whittled them down to not having much health, and now they're left with Jack here, who's again in a very strong position, and is in a very strong tank that's hull down, and he's full health, and these guys aren't. So he can quite easily whittle these guys down and kill them. And just the holding play that we had, just because me and Zins recognised that like the Valley Road had just completely fallen, and we had to get over there and help them hold it back, that play won us the game. And it is like that in a lot of games where you've just got to realise the moment something's about to completely just collapse, fall, and give up the game, basically. So Jax pops a shot into that 257. The Conqueror's buggered off. He shuts down the 257, and now it's just a matter of closing down the Conqueror, who's fallen back into the Valley Road. And he's got guys pushing him from F2. Jack's coming in from the rear. It's going to be an easy kill. And then, yeah, they secure the win for us. And it always catches me out how much longer it takes for the game to end pre 5.0 now that we're so used to 5.0 and it's just immediate ending. It's weird. But yeah, that play held that flank for us. And basically won us the game, which was quite nice. So we finished that game with a high caliber ace tanker, 4.8k damage, 31,000 credits, which is alright. It's good for a tier 9. 1600 base, 13 shots fired, 12 hits, 11 pens. Oh, that's symmetrical. That's nice. And yeah, well, I'd say that was a nice game for the E75 where we managed to stay hull. Well, for the most part, stayed hull down. Used the turret armor. Used the the strong hitting gun. And just held a position, which is what it's good at. So we're in the second game now. And we're into 5.0 now. And there's me, Randy, and Swindle in this platoon, and we're on highway. So what we're going to do is we're going to head towards the town. Because highway from this spawn, very rarely going to A1 or going across that way from this spawn works out at all. It's one of those things that's probably not recommended. Back in the day, when the spawns were still that the enemy team spawned at J1 and we spawned at A8, like that corner at A1 was pretty easily played. Like we could get there, we could fight for it and stay below the ridgeline at A2, fine. But the fact is, they also spawn at now like F1, G1, which means that they get to that corner way before we do, and that generally means that we don't win that flank ever, really. Because I mean, look at that light tank just there on the map, just ran down to C1, C2, and spotted at least like 4 or 5 tanks. Yeah, it's 5 tanks there, and that just means that they'll probably kill the guys that crossed. They'll kill the people that are currently stuck in, they're probably stuck in the middle of the water now at A5, A6 who are crossing, and it's just an unviable strategy. You're probably best to sit and wait to shoot, but not like at A6, A7, because that's an easy place to get shot, spotted, well, spotted and shot. There's not much cover, and it's just not a very good position. Like, the position I always do if I'm going to hold in a medium or really lightly armoured tank is take the ridges at D9, because I can shoot across to the guys that are on the J line, and I can shoot down on anyone that's crossing towards our base, which is nice, and anyone that tries to infringe on the base we can also shut down. But we're in an E75, so we're taking the brawl to the town, because that's where where you want to be, isn't it, really, in a brawling heavy tank. Now, we make a mistake there of just driving around on the I7. He was ready for us. He broke our engine, which is a very typical German thing. And we load the premium because we're not always guaranteed to pen the lower plate of an IS7 with 246 pen. You do get those random ass bounces off of it, which is something that, well, you're in that position, you don't want to chance, really. So we tracked him in the first place and hoped to get some assistance. We only got 1 shot, and then we tracked and penned him that time to hold him still again. But he's not got much options to get back behind cover, and he's gone. So you see now the I7's gone, we're loading back to AP, and we're now going to go after this 215B if I can drive straight and not drive into walls. I mean, that's what you all come here for, and that's the absolutely fantastic driving that I produce. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So, like I say, we're going after this 215B. He pens us. We snap the shot. We could have aimed a little bit longer, especially since he actually already fired. But we didn't do any damage, unfortunately. We gave up the shot. We know he's fired at this 705 now. And look at that. An FV215B is burning. That's a shock. No. You don't see FV215Bs burn, ever. Nah, it doesn't happen. I don't believe this game. That didn't happen. But yeah, he gets shut down anyway. And we're looking for a shot at this machine. We shut him down, 455, it's quite nice. And we're swiveling around because the base is not in a good shape. There's one capping already. We've got Randy back there who is basically saying at the minute, oh, I've got it alright. You know, we've got help. We've got nice shots into him. So we're not exactly rushing back, but we are making our way steadily back to help. We'll try and pop a shot at the ELC-90, but unfortunately we miss. Because, I mean, you very rarely hit those things. It's annoying. And as we're coming back, we're seeing the Tiger Shark YOLOing about in the middle. So we're going to see if we can pop a shot at him. Oh, unfortunately, he neos it. He just turns at the last second, and the shell just hits the floor next to him. But as I mean, we took a dangerous route back, and there we go. We get hit from something over there. Because that really probably wasn't the brightest move to take that route back to base, because there could be stuff at the bridge, there could be stuff in the middle that got shots at you, and at the end of the day those TDs that are at G2 could have quite easily also sat at F3, F4 and been shooting us. But yeah, we made it back okay anyway, and we're now in a position that's good to defend the base from. This is a very good ridge line. If they're in the position they are, you can quite easily get shots at people. Now, one thing that could be a valid thing to do on this map is that when you leave the spawn, destroy all the cover. If you destroy all the cover in the base, then when it comes to this late game and having to reset, you're pretty much not going to have to worry about hitting destructible cover or having anything for the enemy team to hide behind within the base. You can quite easily defend it from that ridge. You don't have to. Sometimes they do hide behind all the destructible cover, and then you don't really have a good place to shoot anyone from. But anyway, as we're pushing forward, we're now up to 3.1k damage. There's the STRV in the middle, got spotted, but obviously he's got great camo, so he gets unspotted now that the tank that was spotting him is dead. And I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to rush forward to get the spots on him so I get the assistance. I mean, we're in a tank with 128mm, so we can always overmatch that guy's armour. We spot those TDs and it's like, okay, they are kind of looking this way, which is kind of dangerous, and that kind of scares me a little bit, so I'm going to hide behind the metal. And that's why we ducked to this bridge, and we're trying to make it as hard as possible for them to get shots at me. Now I'm unspotted, I can drop down into this dip and pop a shot into the side of the T95. We get tagged by the Tortoise, who easily penned us. I mean, he probably will, he's got point accuracy, good pen. But now we're hull down, and I'm pretty confident they won't pen me here, as we're slinging nice shots into the sides of T95s. We're getting some good rolls as well. I mean, this gun is good for that. And we've spotted the Tortoise, and we're also getting all of his assisted, which is nice, and he's dead. There's the E100 hull down. We're looking for a shot at it. Bounce off his spaced armour. We load the APCR so that we can pen his, well, hopefully pen his turret front, or just pen his side at this distance anyway. He's still hull down. We're looking for that top bar or his cheeks. It flies straight in rather nicely. I'd say if you load the APCR, it's 311. It's not always guaranteed to go through the turret front of the E100, unlike 340 heat pen, but it's more likely. And the fact that we've only got like 246 pen at this distance on the side of an E100 won't always go in. So that's why we've loaded the APCR. We get a nice shot into the side of the T95. And this E100 is looking for us. We are spotting this guy, so we get the assisted on him. And there's just the medium tank left, who is clearly over in that direction. And there he is, the Progetto, because we were just targeted that whole time. Looking for a shot on him. Unfortunately, the shot misses. We are lighting him up, though, currently. Hopefully, he will get shut down. Again, he's not guaranteed to pin me in this position. I am hull down, so I'm in a very strong position for fighting him. He's now getting farmed by Randy, and he gets shut down by our Progetto. And we finished that game with 5.1k damage and 2.6k assisted. Again, a very nice game for the E75. And it is the old favourite. I still love playing it. It's just a very satisfying tank to play because you can brawl very effectively in it. You can use the great armour it has. It's got a great gun, and it's got good mobility nowadays, which just makes the whole package a very, very fun tank to play and very worth grinding towards. So, as always, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you next time.